Hey, what's happening? This is your host Tinto, and before we get started on this weekend's episode, I thought to give a shout out to everybody that got me coffees this week, starting with you, Anonymous. I need to get used to this Anonymous thing, but you gave me a solid 5 coffees. Thank you so much for your generosity. And then moving over onto Moa's Butterfly, thank you for your generous gift. I appreciate you. And this is my Olga, like my day one Olga. I won't say your real name, but Petera K is your social media handle. And you, my guy, have had my back, and I appreciate you to the moon and back. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I got 20 coffees from somebody I got no clue who it is. You chose to be anonymous, and sometimes the best gifts come from those who are silent about it. So whoever you are out there, thank you so much for those 20 coffees. They have gone a long way in firing the podcast. And last but not least, Wenkosi, thank you so much for your generosity. I remember from the beginning, a lot of people had to persuade you to listen to the podcast because you didn't want your heart broken as you listened to it. You've been strong, and now you support the podcast. I appreciate you. If you'd like to do the same, head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/feeling station and give as your spirit leads. Remember, there's nothing that is too small to keep the podcast that you've grown to love alive and kicking. With that out of the way, let's crack into this weekend's episode.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here on the Feeling Station.
Hello?
Yo, what's happening?
me. Let me practice my radio voice.
This already sounds hectic before we even got anywhere, you know. Do you know what?
I am determined to let you know that when I ate the sandwich,
now, what the audience doesn't know is the kind of conversation we had a few minutes ago about this sort of thing. But guys, I need to warn you, right? This lady here can switch up her accent in ways I have not seen in a long time. So, I need to ask before we even go far. Which accent are you hitting me with? This one or the other one?
See, as the story develops, and we don't know. It will come out. Because you ever realize, like, when you're talking,
yeah,
when you hit certain emotions and certain points,
yep,
you know, change. Like
things hit differently.
Emotional, you get so emotional, but she's like,
yeah.
But you know, at the same time, I just really, really wanted to make sure that everything was good. But you know, nobody gonna know. You just gotta play it by ear because you can't maintain the same thing.
Oh
the whole
my
conversation.
gosh! What a time to be alive! Welcome to the Feeling Station.
We are feeling it.
You know, I know I kind of caught you off guard. I was meant to confirm a date and time earlier on in the week, but I completely forgot. And then when I remembered, I was like, "Yo, it's almost the end of the week, and I still haven't set a time." So thank you for making time for us to have this session.
You're welcome. Yeah, you just serve a very strong living God because the day ended up being nice and sunny and free.
I certainly do. Thank you so much. For those who are listening to the podcast for the first time, it touches on breakup stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give you lessons that we can learn from my guest experience. And one of the reasons why the podcast remains doing very well is I do my best to keep my guests anonymous. That brings me to the fun part. The part where I give you the name that you're going to use for the duration of the episode. Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the name that I have from you is from a West African country. And the name is Akila.
Okay.
Right? Which is AKEELAH. Akila. Yeah. And I don't know, that sounds a little bit like tequila, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yo,
yeah.
That was a
sometimes you gotta drink some tequila.
Yeah, and you know,
emotion.
And I was just thinking that name Akila, which sounds a bit like tequila, is a bit of a rhyme. So why don't I just do a wheeler here, huh? Yo, and your name is actually from a country called Liberia.
Hey.
So Aquila, and what that name means. Aquila means, well, it's in two languages really, Arabic and Swahili. So
Mm-hmm.
in Arabic it means wise, and in Swahili it means wise. So who was the wise one between you and the ex you're gonna talk about?
Me.
Yeah,
No, no, I'm not.
right.
I'm not trying to. No, I'm not trying to toot my. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. But
Hmm.
sometimes like you wise up. You're not always gonna be wise from the jump. But
You wise up.
you wise up.
So for you, your wise up was after everything happened or
Yeah,
during?
during it.
Okay.
I mean, so do you want me to start from the
No, oh,
beginning?
oh
I
no,
can
oh,
start from the
no, not
beginning.
yet. You need to tell me what his name is. What are you calling him?
Tangomti just fat.
Josephat.
Um, Tangomti just fat.
Okay. So how did you arrive at Josephat? I know I've got an uncle called Josephat.
We all have uncles called just fat. Don't they give you stress?
Okay, so I'll assume that Josephat is the name we're going to use. Now, the important bit, and this is the second reason why the podcast is doing so well. There are real life lessons that people learn.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you like people listening to your episode to learn from the experience you're going to share?
If you see the signs,
Hmm.
run.
Wow.
And sometimes, just don't block it out because you think that because you guys are from similar backgrounds, you can overlook
Hmm.
certain things they do, whether they be minor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't settle.
Don't settle. I like that. Do you have another lesson? Oh, that's the key one that you want to keep.
Take your time. You're in no rush.
Oh, okay.
Especially as an African child, as an
Mm-hmm.
African daughter. Let me
Mm-hmm.
hit on that. As an
Mm-hmm.
African daughter, those you don't have precious. Those pressure the pressure
This is what we were talking about.
the pressure.
I love this. We spoke about it, right? And we said, you can have as nice an accent, nice an accent as you want, but
Yeah.
somewhere there will be that
Mm,
word which will just throw you
mm,
off.
mm. Pressure.
Okay.
The pressure, especially
Uh-huh.
when you get a certain age, your life is where you want it to be from
Yeah.
family to be like, cool.
Yeah.
Come on now. No,
Yeah.
you are just like, cool. I'm trying to catch my next flight.
That
But like,
the societal pressures,
yeah,
can really
don't fall
fuck
to
over.
that.
Okay.
We're in a new age. We're in a very new age. I'm
So,
living to get, passport stamps, not
oh yeah.
this.
So those are those the two lessons, or you have another one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'll just play those back.
We might have another one as we go on, but
Cool. So first one up is if you see the signs, run. Okay, don't block it just because you guys are from similar backgrounds, and don't ignore stuff. Don't settle. And then lesson number
Mhm.
two, take your time. You're in no rush. I really like those two lessons.
Mhm.
So let's get cracking. You and yo, can I just call him Jay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you and Jay. Where did you guys meet, and how did you guys get to the point where you were like, okay, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend?
Um, so we met it was a couple of years ago actually.
Mm-hmm.
We met I came back from England. I went to England to visit family and friends, and I came back and one of my friends was like, "Yo, my guy,
Mm-hmm.
let's go out. It's been a minute." And I was like, "Bless, say less." And she was like, "Oh, one of her friends was bringing a friend from out of town." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So, we get to the club, we're all, drinking, and they're like, "Yo, go talk to him." Because I think a lot of my friends know me. I'm not one of those people that like approaches people, and I'm literally like a fall back, lay back person. I just
Mm-hmm.
let life happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, "Yo, can you like go talk to him? Can you like get us drinks? Like, just tell him what you want to drink and just get us drinks." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So I just walked up and I was like, "Yo, they told me to come talk to you. They want drinks." And
So you didn't know this guy from Adam, like,
no.
and They expected you to walk up and ask him to get you drinks just like that?
Yeah, because I am that type of person too. When I do get in that like with my friends, I
Yeah.
everybody does dumb shit with their friends. I'm a very confident person, like no
Mm-hmm.
cap, but I like to fall back and watch. But if somebody's like, "Yo, you want to meet somebody," and then like just make friends, I talk. I
Yeah.
talk. I
So,
don't like putting myself in awkward situation. Like I always tell myself, like nothing is awkward unless you make it. So I just walked up to him. I was like, "They want drinks."
I mean, that if I was a girl, okay, if I was a girl, I would only be bold enough to make that kind of move if maybe I caught, if our eyes kind of caught each other at some point, and I was feeling okay, maybe he might or he might not. But you just went straight for the kill, bam, and it didn't
Yeah.
matter.
I mean,
Wow.
we were at the club. What was I supposed to do? Like, I come out just fast. I mean, when I went up to him,
Yeah.
I really wasn't even thinking anything in the scope of everything else I was gonna. I was just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, he's in town for the night. Like, they want drinks. That's literally where my mind was. It's like
Okay.
they want drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went up there and I was like, yo, they say they want drinks, and he was like, cool. He was like, do you want anything? I was like, yeah, I'll get like a Jameson and Red Bull. And I was like, cool. And we ordered our drinks. And then I was like, well, he was having a conversation with some chick actually when I approached him. So,
What the hell?
yeah.
Hold up a
So,
sec.
because
What gave you the guts to go and speak to him knowing that he was talking to another girl?
everybody wanted drinks at the table. And he was taking, I think the thing was that everybody wanted drinks and he was taking too long at the bar. So, because they were lit and they were in the zone and I was more of like the sober one, they're like, bro, just go. And
What
I was like,
what was the,
okay.
what was the girl's reaction?
She just looked at me. I mean, I got my drinks and I was like, blessed. And I
Uh,
walked away.
but when you
And
say she
then,
looked at you, was it that evil look to say, girl,
yeah, it was that one of them ones that
but you didn't
you better
care?
back off. He's mine. And she doesn't
Wow.
understand that I'm over there like, I just wanted a drink and they wanted drinks. That's all I'm here for. I didn't even.
Wow. Okay. Mad.
So I
Mm.
went back to the table and then he came back. He was like, yo, like, it was funny enough because he was like, yo, like, thank you, because she just kept talking. And I was like, oh, you're welcome. So and then I sat in my corner and I started scrolling through my phone and like everybody was like, yo, get up and dance and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, fine. So, I get up and dance and then he comes up and he starts talking to me. And, we find out like we actually like a lot of the same things. And when I was visiting in England, like I hit like a couple of spots, like, that he actually, because he was visiting from out of town from England.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, oh, you're in my town, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, funny enough, like I left like a day before you came. So, and we also started laughing and everything. So then when the night ended, I went my way. He and his boy went his way. And then my friend's like, yo, like, did you have fun? I was like, yeah, it was fun. Like it was just nice to like detox, like I hadn't seen my friends in like almost a month. So, it was just kind of nice to see everybody. And she was like, so what do you think about him? I was like, I mean, he's cool, like, and what am I supposed to think about him? And then I thought that was it. So, um, I didn't think about it. I moved on with life.
Mm-hmm.
And like 2 months or a month or two after that, my friend invited me out again to a birthday dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And his friend was at the birthday dinner. And his friend was like, yo, my boy has been looking for you for the last month.
Yo, mad.
Where have you been? I was like, what do you mean? Like, you could have asked, everybody else for my number.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't think about that. But he just left for New York today. He should be back in like a couple of days. But yeah, here, like text him.
Mm.
And my friend like grabs my phone, like while we're at the dinner table, and she like texts him. And he calls, he's like, yo, where have you been? Like, I've been trying to like find you and get your number.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's been giving me like a straight answer, and I'm not on social media, so it's not like I could like look you up. And I was like, oh, well, hey, it's good. And he was like, well, do you want to like have lunch? Like, I'll be back in town like a couple of days. And I was like, yeah, cool. So, um, we came back, went to lunch,
Mm-hmm.
to some fancy ass restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might think me ghetto or what, but me, I like simple stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm fine with my Nando's because
Right.
I get a good sized portion
Yeah.
and I'm filled up.
Not one of these restaurants where you go and pay $500 and all you have is a leaf.
Exactly, and you have like two bites. Like, I'm not about that life. Like, I like my Nando's for
S-
my $20. I know I know I'm having $20. That's a bit too much.
Yeah.
For my $13, I get a half
Wow.
and two sides and a drink. Like, I'm good.
So is that
You
the
know.
kind of place he took you to? One of those where it's
Yeah,
like
I was.
fine dining.
I was like, oh, let me get the salmon. That I almost said salmon, but it's like, right, let me get the salmon,
Uh-huh.
with the potatoes, and the green beans, please, and
Mm-hmm.
like a drink, thank you. And we talked, and from then on, we just started talking like every day, and he would call, and then he had to go back to England, and but with the time difference, we're like, you know what, let's just try it, and we'll see if we can make it work. We'll make it work, but it just
So
seemed
you
like
get
it was
so you
going
get decide
well.
so you get decide to try it before he left or after he left.
So after he left, that's when we decided to try it.
Okay.
And he's very, I mean, he's very extravagant. He's one of those high end ones
Mm-hmm.
that lives at the eggs Benedict every day for breakfast, like, and I'm
Wow.
more of the. And I know he's at the Shampopo level,
Yeah,
and
but
to me, I am at the anything goes. Shampopo kana masese.
but here's the question: Did he do this naturally or this was forced? Because there's some people
No,
that you can
he
tell.
was very natural with
Oh,
it. Like, he's
nice,
very
nice.
natural with it. It wasn't one of those like you have to force the lifestyle. Like, that was him. That was
Was that attractive to you?
at that time, coming from the one that I had been with previously, it was very different. It was very different.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, he was very well established in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Well versed in travel. Like, I've traveled as well, so like I really understood where he was coming from, and we were both like Zimbabwean, and he was so exciting because it's like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
and I have siblings, and my siblings are the other half of us are very like bougie and designer, and then there's the other half of us that are like, bruh, I found these tennis shoes
Yeah.
at Ross. They
Yeah.
were like in US. Yeah, I found these tennis shoes at Primark. They are good. There
Yeah.
we go in my life, So like I can easily navigate that because like I've experienced that with like my family as well. So that was no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my guy would be like, "Yo, we're gonna try some wines. We should try these wines next time I'm in town." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people wine taste?
Yeah, they
I
do.
thought people just drank."
No, they
All
do.
right, all right, all right, cool. Never really wine tasted
Uh,
before, but I'm
yeah.
totally down, and we're both open to like trying things. So he was like, "Oh, I won't be there for your birthday. I got some work stuff to do." And I was like, "Look, I'm very understanding. So, but the fact that you even called me, like, to let me know, like, I really appreciate that. Like, the communication was there,
Did you
which
have
is
no
great."
did you have no reservations about long distance relationships from the jump?
No, it didn't, because it was going smoothly.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, I should have had reservations. I really should have. Now
Mm.
that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, if I soon after my oh yeah, let me not say when, but yeah, at some point, someone I was in a relationship with was going to leave the country
Mm,
and go and like leave the continent. Yeah. And I
mm,
remember thinking, yeah, this is doable. We did the first week. Yeah, it was great. Second week was great. By the time we got to the fourth, I was starting to feel the cracks. Like,
yeah.
okay, I don't know if this is sustainable. It went on for another 6 months, but by the time we got to 6 months, it was blatantly obvious that, nah, this long distance thing doesn't happen. So for me, once somebody mentions starting something on two different continents, I'm already like, nah, just call it quits.
Yeah.
But so for you, did this long distance thing have an impact on
No,
you
not really,
guys? No.
because no, because he part of his job was traveling. So most of the time he would either be in the UK or in the US.
Mm,
So when he was in the US, like I could go anywhere. And I have a passport as well, so I could,
mm-hmm.
go to England as well. So we never thought that as an issue
Okay.
because we could easily access each other. We just match our schedules,
Mm-hmm.
and the great thing about my job, was like it was I could have those moments where I could work anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I was visiting my family in England, I was able to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, the time difference sucked a little bit, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was able to work. So yeah, so
Okay. So you guys become an item, and things are
yeah,
moving along quite nicely. I'm guessing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's like, "Yeah, I can't come for your birthday," and I was like, "No, it's all good. I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna see you the following month, anyways. You're gonna be here." He was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So I was like, "All right, cool." So a couple of days for my birthday, mine's is moving sketch. I'm like, bruh. So I told my best friend, I'm like, I
What?
don't like this.
But what do you mean he was moving sketch? So he comes for your birthday and he was moving
I
sketch.
didn't know he was still in England. So he
Mm-hmm.
started moving sketch because he would call my best friend, but when he would call me or when he would talk to my best friend and I'm around, it'd be like kind of like in code. So I was like, I'm a dumbass because
Wait,
I should have.
wait a minute. So so Jay had your best friend's number,
Yeah.
and your best friend is
So
female.
yeah. So
How did he get
yeah,
her
that's what I
number?
thought too. I thought something was going on, but
How did he get her number?
he was friends with her brother.
Yeah.
So I at that time, that's how I was like, okay, they're being very suspect. But I know my best friend. She's yeah.
Wait, man.
But
No, 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 no,
you
no.
gotta think the same thing I was thinking.
No, I need
But
details. Wait a minute.
so
Hold that horse. Right? This guy is friends with your best friend's brother.
mm-hmm,
So he then gets her number through his friend.
mm-hmm.
That's weird. Why would I be asking my friend for his sister's number?
Because she was my friend, and they
Yeah,
were they
but
were
uh-huh.
planning a surprise for me, so they didn't want me to know.
Who's they?
So
Who's they?
my best friend and him, like all my friends, basically all my friend circle, but his main point of contact was my best friend. So I thought, man's, they're planning. I was like, boy, like, she's like, no, 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 it's not even like that serious. Like, he just wants to talk to me about you since he can't make it for your birthday. We're like trying to plan something. I was like, okay, cool. So the night for my birthday, he's like, man, like, I wish I could really be there for your birthday. I was like, it's okay. I totally understand. Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. But I'll talk to you later. I was like, nah, it's all good. We're about to get ready to like head out. She got something planned for us. So he was like, okay, cool. So my friend took me to get my nails done, got my hair done, because they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a party at the club
Mm,
with me and another friend. So we're gonna rent out like a section. I was like, bet.
mm.
Say less. So at this point, my mom like knows about him. I never really tell. See, that's another thing
How
about
long had it
African.
been at this
It was been
point?
a few
A
months,
few being 6.
about 6 months. Yeah.
Okay, and you told your mom about
My
your
mom, my mom found out because this man would just call. I'd be like, bro, I'm with my mom right now. Like, sa phone I can.
yeah.
And then he'll be like, oh, okay. Bloop,
Eh,
FaceTime.
Oh,
And then my mom was like, oh yeah, I don't phone know you. And my mom like
okay.
picked up my phone.
Right.
And sekarang, magadian yung mama. Sekarang, what is it?
Oh
I'm like,
man.
I was
Okay.
like, bruh, even
Right.
like at this point, take out banaga, you already
Mm.
kind of made an impression on my mom,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
is
yeah.
what it is. So my birthday rolls around and he's like, hey, like, what are you guys about to do for your birthday? I'm like, oh, we're about to go to dinner, blah, blah, blah. He's like, man, I'm so mad. Like, I'm missing that, da, 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 whatever. Whole time this man is texting me and he's on a flight to
Oh.
America.
Oh, I like this
And he
guy.
was like 2, 3 hours out, I think, at that point. So he
Mm.
was supposed to get there, they were trying to push my dinner later, which we did because he was hoping he would make it to the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, cool. So I'm like, yeah, like we're about to finish dinner and go to the club. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Bless. Let me know when you get to the club. I'm like, I bet. So I get to the club, everything's like, oh my God, happy birthday. You know,
Yeah.
we're like killing it. Vibe. Now go backwards. I'm like, guys, I take my shoes off.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, don't. We still haven't taken pictures. I'm like, all right, cool. And then two of my friends, like my best friend and one of my other friends, keep going in and out. And everybody's just trying to distract me. And I'm like, okay. Like, did y'all give me a cake? Like, oh my God, that's what I saw you guys.
Yeah,
Like, oh
you're
my
getting
God.
suspicious.
I don't know. I kept asking her, I'm like, bro, where do you keep going? She's like, oh, my phone's dead. My brother's on the way. And like, he wants to give me something for you. So, you know, that's why I keep going outside. I was like, well, why can't you just use my phone? Like, to call your brother?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, it's fine. He's almost here. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm complaining about my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going on with life. I don't, Then I just feel somebody tap my shoulder, and I had this thing like, I don't like it when people I don't know touch me at the club. So
Okay.
I'm like, who is touching me at this point in my life?
Mm-hmm.
They want to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn around and he's like holding flowers and he's like, happy
Oh,
birthday.
nice.
And I'm like, Marika.
Yeah.
Whole time, this is what you were planning.
Wow. Was it a good
And
surprise though? I mean, were you like genuinely
I was
surprised?
so genuinely surprised. Like, I literally thought I was going to have a panic attack because I was like, you're actually here.
Wow.
And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, like, happy birthday. I wasn't going to miss your birthday. We can't start off like that. And I was like, holy smokes. Like, this man's here for my birthday. And I called my mom. I was like, Mom, he's here for my birthday. And she's like,
Wow.
what do you mean?
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, he's here in the flesh. And my mom was all like, oh my gosh. So, like, okay, da da da. So, and then, of course, as an African daughter, I had to go home, to my parents' house. I couldn't go home with him. So,
Did he want to? Did he want to take you to his?
No, because we're staying at his friends. But,
Okay.
he was like, we could, like, go to a party,
Mm-hmm.
like go hang out or something, or go get food. I was like, I can do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't go home with you. It's
Mm-hmm.
not in Africanness in me to go home with you.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, okay, cool. So basically, yeah, we ended up spending the whole weekend together. I actually took off work for like the Monday and Tuesday after that, and we just kind of like hung out around town and stuff, and eating at these fancy restaurants. Getting acclimated.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, he went back to England for his next assignment. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna be in the States for my birthday." I was like, "Cool." So what's the plan? And he's like, "Well, this is where I'm gonna be at. Like, come there." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Mm-hmm.
Everything was fine, till then.
What happened?
Then I went for the birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, I think, for like 4 days. Met all his friends. The friends are like, "Oh my God, like you're so pretty. Oh my God, he talks about you." That I'm like, oh, blushing. He talks about me, guys. He's stupid. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, cool. So the first night we were there, I'm like, the second day wasn't even night, was his actual birthday. He was like, oh, like we're gonna go to dinner. I'm like, okay, cool. But he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to work and then we'll like do dinner when I get back, and then we'll link up with everyone after me and you go to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, cool. So 6 o'clock rolls around and I'm just at his place, like, where are you? Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, the boys at work wanted to go get pizza with me for my birthday.
Right.
So we're gonna be running late. I'm like, but I'm waiting here for you. Like, what's going on? And he kind of goes silent. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, me, I'm not going to suffer hunger for nobody.
Mm.
So I got up, got out the house, walked across the street to this little corner shop. Hung out. I actually ended up hanging out at the corner shop for like a hot minute because I started talking with the workers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're visiting the city," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm here for this, and that." And they're like, "Why are you here then?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"This is what happened." And one of the workers there was like, "That's not a good move. Like, you can't fly out all the way here for somebody, and then they move like that." I was like, "It is what it is. I'm not gonna stress myself."
Mm-hmm.
So and then he gets back. He's like, "Where are you? Why aren't you in the house? I'm so sorry I'm late." I was like, "Bro, I was waiting for you. You weren't coming."
Yeah.
And I got hungry. So I walked out. I went out. I was like, "I'm across the street." He's like, "Who do you know across the street?" I'm like, "I'm literally at the corner shop across the street." But. And so I came back and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, time kind of," that was one of the first signs that I saw. And I was like, mm-mm. The lack of communication, like in that
Okay.
instance
Yeah, yeah.
where, yeah. So we go out, smooth night, like his friends are there. And it kind of started turning into his friends started like giving me more attention than he was. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'll start like talking to his other friends will like start talking to me more, and he just kind of be off. So I was like, all right, I'm not even gonna assume anything. We got back. I'm like, "Yo, what was that? Like, like what's going on?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, nothing. I was just catching up with everyone." I'm like, "Well, in you doing that, you kind of pushing me aside. Like, do you want me here? Let me know if you want me here or not. I came here for you. You brought me here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know something like that. I'm sorry, but whatever." I was like, "All right, cool." So the next day, they have a barbecue. So I'm like, "Yeah, cool." He's like, "Oh, let's go get breakfast and we'll go to the barbecue." I'm like, "Oh, is it just me and you?" He was like, "Yeah." So as we're walking out, he was like, "Oh, I invited my friend." So I'm like, call my guy, how far?
Yeah.
I thought it was me and you.
Mm.
He's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So we go, we have breakfast, cool. We come back. I was like, "I'm gonna lay down a bit. I'll join you um at the barbecue," because I
Mm.
started feeling very uncomfortable. So the moment I got Buddha Gati, Mama, let's find a flight because I don't think I can be here like one more night. Like, I need to leave.
What was frustrating you the most?
It literally got to be like when he was around his friends, I was basically not there. Like, he would like
Okay.
lock me out. And I brought it to
Mm.
his attention because I'm not passive aggressive unless I feel like it. But
Mm.
if it's something that's like gonna affect me and you in the long run, I'll let you know. So
Yeah.
I told him, and he. Then my mom's like, "All right, like we'll look for flights." There was nothing available. I was like, "Jesus, right?"
Stuck. Stuck.
My mom's like, "I just kind of stick it out. Just enjoy yourself." I was like, "Okay." So I go to the barbecue again. He's there, but he's not there. He would like come in and ask, like, "Are you okay?" Like once in a while. I was like, "Yeah." But then one of his other coworkers started really talking to me, and one of his other friends came and started talking to me, and there were actually people. His friends were the ones that were like keeping me engaged and keeping me part of the conversation.
Mm.
So and then they moved the party back to his place. So we're in there. So I walked out, I think, to throw the trash or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got locked out.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he didn't notice you're not with the crew?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Mm.
I come back. I call. He's not answering. So I don't have his friend's number. So I can't call somebody else. I'm like, "Bro, okay, well, let me just give him like 30 minutes. He'd probably be back." And I look at the clock. It's like 11:30. So I'm like, "You
Yo.
know what? Let me just go to the corner shop. I know they're open till like 2. At least I'll have somewhere safe, to be at." So I I go to the corner shop.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock,
This is crazy.
2:30. I'm
Like
like, oh.
this is unbelievable. What time of year was it? Was it winter by any chance or
Around it was towards the end of summer,
summer? Okay.
like August, September-ish.
Okay.
Corner shop ya vara na mutanda tanda no corner shop because like it was the weekend, so everybody was like dilly dallying, and around like 2:30 ish, they're like, yo, one of them was like, yeah, I gotta go. I was like, nice, let me head back. Maybe I can get in somehow.
Through a
Somebody
window
were
or
like,
something. Yeah.
nah, I couldn't get in through a window because they were like on the seventh floor.
Mm.
So I had to get into the complex. But then the thing was that I was locked out of the complex. So yeah, so I'm walking back. I was so upset. I think at one point I was so upset I started crying.
Mm.
Then this car drove by. This is where I was cracked up. This car drives by, and then they make a U-turn. I guess to
Mm-hmm.
come back.
Mm-hmm.
To try and like talk to me. Then this random white boy
Mm-hmm.
runs up to me. I guess he also peeped the car coming back and he
Mm.
saw me walking by myself. He runs up to me as the car's pulling up. He's like, yo, babe. I said, I'm sorry. Like,
Uh,
can we just go? Like, can we just go? I'm so sorry. Like, let's just go. And I'm like crying. And he comes close to me. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, no. And he's like, I'm sorry. He like, okay. He's like, let's just walk. Like, just walk with me because I think those guys are following you. I'm like,
mm.
okay. It's like 3 o'clock at this point. So we come back. We sit outside on the curb. And he's like, I'm trying to sober up because I think I lost my keys or I left my keys in the car. I don't know. And I don't remember where I parked.
Yeah.
So we can sit here until I sober up and maybe until, and I told him the situation.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, bro, that's really messed up. I was like, I'm just literally waiting for the sun to come up so I can go. I texted one of my friends, but he was too far to come reach me. Um, like basically for him to come reach me, and then we drive back to his, and then drive back.
Did you know
So
what I don't get? Your boyfriend this whole time hasn't noticed you're not around.
nope.
Wow.
So where I talked to this white boy, we sat there for I think probably till like 6 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, do you want me to walk with you to go find your car? And he was like, you can walk me halfway, but I don't want you to walk me too far. And then, your boyfriend comes and you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm getting a situation where like he has to go looking for you and then the whole thing happens again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I walk him like halfway. And he's like, wait, can I use your phone real quick? Let's do like the find my iPhone. So I
Yeah.
think he will ping where my car is. I was like, okay, cool. So we do the find my iPhone thing. He finds his car. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, I hope you break up with this man because
Mm.
you're so much better. And I was like, don't worry, it's gonna be sorted.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back. I sit on the curb, and I had called my best friend too, but she didn't answer me. I called her multiple times. She didn't answer me. And
Mm.
I texted her. She didn't answer me. And I had been actually trying to communicate with her throughout that whole weekend, like to like let her know what's going on. But her answering me was like sporadic, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna bother myself.
Yeah.
So when that night happened, I was trying to call her so she could get hold of her brother, or just kind of try to get hold of him.
Mm.
So then he comes back with his friend, and they're all like laughing, and then he sees me, and he's just like, "Oh shit."
That is unbelievable.
And he was like, "Did you try to call me?"
What time of day was this now? Was this
This was
like
like around 6:30 in the morning.
wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, I did. I called you like 10 times. I texted you. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even look at my phone. Like, I'm so sorry." I was like, "No, it's all good." And at that point, I think you could tell like I was just done. So we go back into the building. I pack my bags, like, like pack the rest of my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you know what? Let me just count down. And thank God I had like an early flight because
So was that the day that you were due to fly out anyway?
yes, I was trying to fly out the day before,
Yeah.
but
I guess you might as well the day before because this guy, he was not there anyway, so you had no
yep,
benefit sticking around.
yep,
In fact, you'd have been more comfortable on a plane on the way
yep,
back than you were sitting out in the corner shop and then hanging out with a complete
yep.
stranger who was trying to find his own. So what did you say to him to break up then? Because in fact,
He
did he
was
at
like,
least?
he was like, I'm so sorry about last night. I got caught up. I was like, yeah, it seems like when you're with your friends, you get caught up a lot.
Mm,
And you know what? Let me save you the trouble so you don't get caught up.
yeah.
So I got on the flight. I came back. Of course, I cried about it for a couple of days,
Mm,
but he called me that week, I think, but I didn't answer. And he messaged me. He's like, "I'm really sorry again." And I was like, "Nah, it's all good. Just enjoy your life, enjoy your friends. I don't want to deter you from anything."
mm.
So, of course, that time I did what every girl with a broken heart does.
Which is
I went to the barber shop and got a haircut.
right.
Um, then I was like, you know what? Let me focus on myself. I
Mm,
started hitting the gym. I got a little nice looking,
mm,
small, small.
mm,
Um, then a few months later, my friend and I actually started also having problems. So, let me just focus and do what I need to do.
mm,
Then he called my friend and he was like, he's in town. He wanted to see if I'll meet up with him
mm.
because he wants to talk to me. And my friend was like, I'm not going to tell her that you called me and told me that and asked me that and asked me to talk to her on your behalf. Kana shoutout na for nere.
Yeah, if you don't talk to her,
Um,
you be the one to
yeah,
do it. Be man enough to do it.
yeah, yeah. So, he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, would you be down to have like a 5-10 minute conversation? I just want to like talk to you or whatever." I was like, to be honest, I don't know what you have to say. Like,
Yeah.
so I got to food,
Your actions kind of said it for you, so there really isn't much that your mouth
and
can.
my friend was like, "Yo, just hear him out. Da da da. You already passed it, but just hear him out. You need closure." And that's one other lesson I learned. You don't need closure in every
Yeah,
situation.
true, true. I mean, this one is fairly
You
obvious what had
don't.
happened, and it was
Yeah.
quite clear, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very fitting.
Then he was like, I was like, fine. My friend was like, okay, well, there's a get together uh that's going on. You should go. If he's there, then talk to him so it's not awkward for everybody. Whatever, whatever. So he goes to the get together, and I'm like, I really don't want to talk to this man.
Mm,
But you know what? Let me be amicable.
mm,
Let me be amicable. So we get to the get together. You know, I sit there, and he's like, I'm really, really sorry. For what I did. Shouldn't have played out like that. I was really stupid. I regret it. I was like, enjoy your regret because me, I'm fine.
yeah.
Um, and I was like, I can't be with somebody that will bring me in a situation and just leave me by myself and not even care to see if I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, I'm really sorry. So are you seeing someone?
Ah, that's all he cares about.
I was like, whether I'm seeing someone or not, I really don't think it has anything to do with you. But anyways,
Mm,
enjoyed the party. He was like, oh, he's going out with his cousin, to the club after the party. And I was like, well, me, I gotta go. I have stuff to take care of, but it was nice seeing everybody, blah blah blah. Then my best friend and I got into it because she's like, so I gotta go see Archie in the club. I'm like, he's not my boyfriend.
yeah.
We're not together. Like, why? He wanted to talk. He said what he had to say, and I'm leaving. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Ay, why, stumbuita. I'm like, bruh, like, just leave the situation. So that night, I also lost a friend, which was fine with me because, I kind of saw like a lot of things that, even in friendship, that, where I'm like, I totally understand you almost did with this man, but you know what this man put me through. Why would
Yeah.
you even still want me to entertain him?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you saw what he put me through. So I walked out of the party. I think everybody heard me yelling. I don't raise my voice a lot. I'm very, but that day I was so upset. I cursed him out, cursed her out, because he started like trying to get in between, and I walked out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. So he messaged me like a couple of days later. He was like, "Oh, I still listen to our playlist." I was like, "You might want to delete that because I
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
and you might also want to delete my number because I deleted yours.
Mm.
If you want to know about me, don't ask anybody. I'm good.
Yeah.
Um, just just go enjoy your life and meet somebody that you actually really want to care about." When I told my mom, like my mom, and she was so hurt, and she was just like, you know what, some of these things
Mm.
just life. But the one thing I appreciated about my parents and my mom, especially in that instance, was when I told her what happened in that moment. Yeah, with mama, I want to get out of here. She wasn't like, "I well, what's in that no more
Of
God."
course. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
She was like, "Let me see what I can do to get you out of that situation."
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really appreciated that, because I don't think a lot of people, like a lot of girls, have that in their moms. Like my mom was like, "Wuda, wuda, wuda," and
She had your back.
she did. And if she didn't, sheesh,
It would have been.
uh,
It would have been a problem.
it would have been a problem. So that was,
Wow.
I think,
So how
I
long is?
stopped. I
So how
stopped
long?
hanging out in that circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's been almost 5 years.
Wow.
I haven't heard from him. I haven't seen him. I haven't heard about him, because I actually like stopped hanging in that circle after that, because I was like, I don't want to put myself in a situation where, like, you know, have to put myself through that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Mad thing.
very mad.
Well,
It was
well,
very mad.
well, thank you very much for sharing that. What I still find kind of mind-boggling is the fact that this guy was so oblivious to the fact that even his own girlfriend wasn't in his own space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from the story, I can't really tell what he wanted from you from the onset, because apart from him taking you to fancy restaurants and
Yeah.
talking about culture and how well traveled you were, there was really nothing else.
I think I kind of realized what it was. I think the older I get,
What was
because
it?
for a long time after that, I wasn't in any relationship with anyone. Like I think it was like 3 years that I did not date anybody until the person that I'm currently with now. And there's so much difference when intentions are known and intentions are clear,
Mm-hmm.
intentions are spoken, intentions are shown. Someone can want you to be there to be like a trophy, a big, a submission. Like
Right.
wakangoti fuga maonoti au
Yeah.
kunzoti fuga mire
Mm-hmm.
agati chikoka no chikoka, and and you work in their space, but they don't want to accommodate you in your space. Like they want you in their space when it benefits them, and if it's them, like you're a token. You're a token. You're just something that um
Okay.
they
So
have.
so for you, you feel like you were just a trophy girlfriend, just for him
I
to
was
say,
a
yeah, I've got a chick.
there's a difference with the trophy and a token.
Mm.
When you're a trophy, like people like to show you off and parade you, like. But when you're a token, it's like, you take out a train token when you want to use the train, right?
Yeah,
You take out a token when you want to buy a ticket, when you want to, in certain spaces, you use a token,
that makes a
right?
lot of sense.
But when you have a trophy, you want to show off your trophy. Like, I mean, let's take Chelsea. Chelsea won today. Hey, we'll be
Yeah, no,
parading that
yeah,
trophy
yeah. I
everywhere,
totally get that now.
you know?
What a douche! What an absolute douche!
But now I'm in a better space. I'm in a
Yeah,
very
no,
better
it
space.
sounds like it. I mean, I would hate to be the that person who's left stranded in such a situation. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I learned my, if it was not for that white boy,
yeah,
you know,
and
that one time the white boy, he was very sweet, and
mm-hmm,
to this day I don't know his name. I
mm-hmm,
don't know where he's from. If I ever see him again, I'll probably pass him by like a regular
yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
that he spent hours with me just so I wouldn't be by myself in a city where I don't know anyone. He sat there and just talked to me, and he let me cry. He let me out my grievances, and then he told me, like cracking me up, or like what happened with him, like why he
yeah,
was stranded like that as well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was nice. And I think by kind of like 10 minutes is since I walked him halfway to his car and me walking back that,
Mm-hmm.
my ex showed up.
Okay, of course, yeah, yeah.
But it was
Hey,
like a perfectly timed thing. I was like, Eesh, I serve a living God, or somebody prayers
absolutely,
are protecting me,
absolutely, absolutely.
because Shan, she named my emotions,
Yeah,
Mukati. But I wised up, and even after that, when I would meet somebody and we talk a time, and there's like a red flag, I'm like,
yeah.
mm-mm. I'm not trying to suffer for no one.
And then do you know what? I think there's actually a verse that talks about that sort of thing. That talks about do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some have entertained angels unaware.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, almost feels like he might have been that angel that was just hovering around to make sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just in time when you knew that the boyfriend was going to be there at that moment to notice you, he was gone.
Yep.
Rah.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that, man. Very, very entertaining story there.
You're welcome.
I'll just play back the lessons from Akila. The first one up was, if you see the signs, run. Don't block it just because you guys have similar backgrounds, and don't settle. Lesson number 2, take your time. You're in no rush to settle and be with someone. And then last but not least, which I think was really the most important out of this one, is that you don't need closure out of every
Mhm.
situation. I know he was trying to make every effort to give you closure in quotes, but I think
Yep.
all that was just to give him a little bit of wiggle room to make him feel better about how bad the situation was, to make himself feel better about himself. What a selfish douche.
Oh yeah, to
Yeah.
create that, or to also check in. People use closure to say, so how you been?
Hmm.
What you up to these days? Try and insert themselves in your
Yeah.
space. Me,
Yeah.
I'm like, the door closed when I walked out.
Yeah. You did well to lock him out at that point. Well done,
Yeah,
Akila.
how much you got dumana now? Then that nigga kangu. She's what you find.
Oh yeah. It
Johnny, I
it
got
would be really nice for you to bump into him with the guy who you're really into and just see what the look on his face is gonna be like.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for those who've been listening to this podcast. Thanks for keeping us company. I'm your host Tinto, and I look forward to catching you in next weekend's episode. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis on Daru Raini and Chagis.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis on Daru Raini and Chagis.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motoru noto kujiziru amai.
Kujiziru amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motoru noto kujiziru amai.